Good afternoon, everybody. I am Tech Sergeant Robin O'Bannon, United States Air Force retired. My friends call me Robin, so awesome. This is the third time that we have done Facebook Live. You may not have seen the first two. I realize now because I am the technician, not only in front of the camera but behind the camera. And I just wanted to show up. I wanted to show up. The original intention of this broadcast was to ask me any questions. I put on my coaching hat, and if you have any questions that are pressing, then go ahead and ask me. Now I realized that that request originally was too vague because I got some pretty generalized questions. So let me tell you what the goal is. You see the sign behind me. It says the Promissory Note Project. And the Promissory Note Project is a constitutional project, and it's dedicated to the descendants of chattel slavery. It's dedicated to love and reconciliation in the nation. It's dedicated to getting down to the bottom of why we cannot all seem to come together as brothers and sisters. Why we can't seem um, to love one another as we've been commanded to. As time progresses, we get more and more contentious with one another, and but we're no less family. And so, one of the things that I've spent the last 7 years doing was getting down to the bottom of and finding points of origin for the conflict that we're in right now. And the main thing that I have learned is that things are not always what they seem to be. Now, I may not be with you for very long today, but like I said, my goal was to show up because this is something that I would like to do regularly. It'd be nice if I didn't show up late. I honestly forgot that I was doing this today. I started writing today, and when I did, I get lost. Writing is my thing, and I was writing to someone that I love very much today, and and it really is kind of interesting that we're talking about love and reconciliation because if you can't love and reconcile within your own family, what hope do we actually have as a nation? We kind of give the nation these expectations that we can't seem to meet in our personal lives. And that's why I say if you have any questions or any pressing questions, and you can ask in anonymity, or you could say, I have a friend, that's going through this, and when it's you, or it may not be you, it doesn't matter. But if we can learn how to sit down and start having conversations with one another and working through the things that we think are difficult, we'll find that we have far more in common than we don't. I'm kind of, on the fly here. Like I said, I listen. You deserve better. You deserved for me to be more prepared when I show up. But as I was standing in the kitchen making something to eat, I was like, I looked at the clock. I'm like, it's 2 o'clock. That's supposed to be something. Wait. Oh man. So I ran to the bathroom and I brushed my teeth and I brushed my bald spots and I put my cap on and everything. You got no idea what's going on below the desk here. All you need to know is that I showed up and I showed up out of love. Hey, Charlotte, I love you. So anyway, had the opportunity to have a really great interview this week. It was a surprise. The C.L. Bryant Show out of Shreveport, Louisiana. It's nationwide, and somehow I get called at the last minute, which is good because if I prepare for something, obviously it's not going to be, it's not going to be, I don't know, organic. And we talked about those things that Black folks need to be aware of today, and I think all Americans need to be aware of them today because we're all part of the same family. And what CL did was, I learned later, is he went off script on purpose. And he did it to see what I would do. I didn't realize that's what he did. And he said that he was testing me. And he said that I was solid. And that kind of thing coming from an individual like Reverend Bryant means a lot to me because I know that he's prepared. And I know that the Lord has been preparing me for my mission my whole life. And so we started talking about things like good times and All in the Family and the Jeffersons and what these shows that I watched when I was a kid, what they meant then and what they mean to us today. And it was some pretty powerful stuff. We kind of went wherever we went with the conversation, which is what I always love to do when I'm on with Reverend Bryant. And so that has been posted for you to listen to. I think you'll find it a very interesting conversation, and the others have been posted too. These things are on our Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/ a gift to this republic. We are the Promissory Note Project. We also have our own website, which is www.thepromissorynote.com, where we have blogs and podcasts. And if there's anything that looks absolutely unprofessional or crazy on that page, that's my fault, because in many cases I can be a one-woman show. My intentions are good, and you know where that road goes to. but but I did do that, and we are learning and we are growing the entire time. Our ultimate goal is to start a conversation in the United States where people actually sit down at the table of brotherhood and they have discussions instead of sitting down behind the anonymity of a keyboard and typing things when the things in their hearts are ugly because their hearts are hurting. So it sounds like a very simple venture, but we kind of got away from that. So the things I wanted to talk to you about today, let's see, does anybody have any questions? Oh, Janice, thank you, girl. Janice said, thank you for showing up. I did, but I'm so hungry. So, but what I wanted to tell you was, or what I wanted to touch on today was a thought that hit my heart this morning, and that is kind of the what is right conversation. You will have heard me say many times before, and you'll hear me say many times again, that at any given time in the United States, there are two distinctly different experiences occurring, American experiences occurring simultaneously. And we may not even be aware of it. And so I'm just going to put this out there to you. One experience is that of free immigrants, those who came to the country of their own free will and those who descended from them. The other experience is the experience of chattel slaves, or those who came here not of their own free will, and their descendants. And that is who I am descended from for the most part. Although if you take a DNA test, you'll look at your DNA and you'll find that in the United States, the blood of all nations rests here. And the blood of all nations can rest within a single individual, which makes it make even less sense that we would be divided by something like skin color. So let's cover a couple of facts, shall we? One of those facts is that black, white, red, yellow, and brown, these are man-made categories that only came about in 1776, believe it or not. It was scientific. And it was categorization. I write more about this on the page. But we are one race. We are the human race. And to be divided by something like skin color is actually beneath us. But that's what we've done, but we can turn it around. It's our opportunity today to turn that around. The second thing I wanted to bring up was that we are um, we are often kind of stuck in this conflict between what has become black and white. And that is, to me, an absurd conflict to be in 2019, yet here we are. We sometimes look at the other experience, or the what we can sometimes call the opposing experience, which is not opposing, it's just different, but we view it that way. We look at that experience as um, different from ours, and it may be more right than ours or more wrong than ours. So we have the black experience and we have the white experience. I'll call it that for the sake of brevity, but I've already explained how I feel about that. So we have the black experience and the white experience, and they are distinctly different. But let me tell you, both experiences, we get a lot right and we get a lot wrong. And it's because In some cases, no, not in some cases. Let me stop trying to qualify this. It's because we're missing out on each other. See, I was a member of the United States Air Force for 18 years, and had I not gotten sick and had to retire early, they would still be looking for me. I would not have left because we learned some really beautiful things in there. First of all, there was only one color. It was blue. Now, everybody didn't feel that way, but we didn't play with those people. I didn't play with those people. Did we, Michelle? We didn't play with them. So, but there was the camaraderie that came from wearing Air Force blue, right? Some of us were even privileged enough to go to war together. And that's when you really find out that the colors that you are sharing are red, white, and blue, especially when you're doing something that's bigger than you are. When you travel outside of the boundaries of where you live, outside of your house, outside of your county, outside of your city, outside of your state, you learn some stuff. You broaden your horizons and you realize that your family is far bigger than just the people who were there when you were born or not there, but they're more than just the people that you see every day. Your family is everywhere. It is worldwide. And once you have experienced that, your heart is changed forever. Okay. You are changed forever. And it makes you incapable of generalizing about anybody. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So, um, I had that opportunity. And there are those who try to continue to push the agenda that, because that person is that color of skin, they are not your family. And because that person is that color of skin, they are your family. Yet I realized that if you took the skin off, I had a lot in common with those people who weren't the same skin color as I was. And I had even less in common with the people who were the same color of skin as I was. And I said, something's not right here. I don't get it. It doesn't work that way. My heart doesn't work that way. Why aren't we just loving one another? Why can't we just be family? See, because since I was a kid, I've always been that person that has to make sense of everything from the biggest part all the way down to the smallest element. And it just didn't add up to me. But it seemed that everybody bought into it. And so I found myself trying to navigate the world between what my heart was telling me and what the world was telling me. And man, let me tell you something, that takes a toll. It does damage. It tears you apart. Why are we tearing each other apart in this way? Is it because we're expected to? Why? What's right? Well, let me tell you something. White ain't right and black ain't right. Now, if it was my mother saying it, she would say, you know what's right? The blood of Jesus. That's right, because it covers everybody. But these days, we're afraid to even say that. But I'm not. Because let me tell you something. Kirk Franklin wrote the soundtrack of my life. And there's a song that says, doesn't matter what color you are, as long as your blood is red. Doesn't that simplify things? And let's just lay this black and white thing to rest, okay? We can learn so much from each other. Now, white folks can learn more from me than just use lotion, right? Lotion is a good thing. And I can learn more from you than just, you know what? Here's finances and here's how they work. But the bottom line is the division that exists in the United States today. That's odd. The division that exists in the United States. It don't even sound right, does it? We're missing out on each other. We're missing out on a wealth of love and influence and lessons that we could learn from one another. We're missing out on so much. We really are. Each of us are incomplete without the other because we're a family. Oh, we can survive. We can limp along. We can do all of that. But we're missing out on each other for something that is absolutely silly. It's trivial. It's stupid. It's beneath who we are as children of God. So here's a suggestion. Let's look up. Let's look up to the Creator who endowed us with these inalienable rights that we talk about all the time. The life, liberty, and the ability to pursue what makes us happy. Let's look up and look through his lens first, and then try to make sense of the world outside of that. And I know that there are those of you who are out there who disagree with me and they say that, well, God is part of the problem. Let me tell you something. God's not the problem. It's us. Very often it's religion. We are so committed to our religion that we forget to behave in the way that God has asked of us. God did not do this. We did. And we can turn it around. And we can do so with his help. So there you go. There you have it. Neither one of us have it completely right. And neither one of us have it completely wrong. But good Lord, if we did it together, we would be unstoppable. So that's me. That's Facebook Live. I would sign off, but here, let me go. Let me read. I love you too, Josue. That's my brother, Josue. Hey, Terrell, and my baby boy. Okay, he's not my baby boy. My baby boy is 21, but he's not, he's not out. Anyway, um, if anybody has a question, like, well, what am I supposed to do to get along better? What am I supposed to do in order to drop this indoctrination that has been dropped on me? What am I supposed to do? These are the kinds of questions that I'm here to try and answer. And doggone it, if I don't know the answer to the question, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to tell you, I don't know, but I'll find out. And we can learn together because we're all supposed to be learning this together. So does anybody have a question? I'll give you a few minutes. Oh my gosh. Black man, I see you out there, man. That's Larry Martin. How you doing, Larry? I love you too, Danny. I love you too. Janice, I agree with you. I agree with you. And part of doing this Facebook Live thing is honing the message. It's honing the message. Because one day I'm going to be responsible for doing a lot more than just sitting behind this computer and talking to you. So, hi, Adrian. Adrian came and Tara, listen. Excuse me, Tara. I see Tara. Tara and I have been friends since the 6th grade. So it's good to see her here. Oh my gosh. Well, I love you, Shalette. Oh, hi, Troy. Troy, I'm your little drummer girl still. Yeah? Yeah, okay. So but anyway, I'm gonna sign off here in about 2 minutes. It was really great spending this time with you today. If you really have hard questions, I am serious. Like, what in the world are we supposed to do in the midst of all of this crazy so we can hold hands and link arms and just love on each other? Because we are so deficient in love. We really need it, guys. I'm so tired of all the anger and all of the frustration and us turning on one another when we are exactly who the other one needs. So if you have any questions, send them through, and I will be with you again next week at 2 p.m. Arizona time. We don't do daylight savings here because we don't play well with the other states. We're trying though, right? But I'll be back here next Friday at the same time, on time, to talk to you guys. So, hey, check us out at www.thepromissorynote.com. Facebook.com/A Gift to This Republic. If you have any kind of Apple Music app, anything, there's a playlist that's pinned to the top of the page. You should take a look at it. It's really good. Put it on shuffle. It's got everything from Gladys Knight and Dionne Warwick to Chance the Rapper and Kirk Franklin. If you have questions about the project, or if you have questions that you want to submit anonymously, you can, PM me, or you can email me at info@thepromissorynote.com. We also have a YouTube channel that's going up, and if it looks janky, that's because of me. I admit it, but it's all the work in progress, and it is all in the Lord's timing. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I love you. I love you, Adrian.